Happy, what's the name?
It's Tuesday. So
Happy Tuesday, people. Happy August 12th, Tuesday, 224th day of the year.
Already?
We have 141 days left. We have about a month and a few days to cuddle season. Cuddle season.
September officially.
Cuddle season starts in October.
It's
not.
birthday.
When's your
Cuddle
birthday?
season starts in October.
Oh, you're a Virgo too. Me
Yeah.
On topic tonight, if you notice, this is more than the Kris and Gina show today. I am Kris the Critic. We got Gina B, the lovely lady to Gina B's left and probably your right. Romero, my cousin, has graced us for the show. She's very smart.
She knows
all these
what
ladies
bodies
are smarter
are buried,
than me.
ladies.
They're all very opinionated.
Tasha
and they're here to
does.
tell you where the man at. Now, to my right, your left, the one, the only. I know you all thought she didn't exist. Mrs. Critic, my wife, Tasha. Thank you for joining the show.
No problem. Hi, everybody.
Hey, Tasha.
We all up in here.
We're all in here. We're in a new, we're back in our old.
Yeah, the Kris the Critic and Kris Gina Relationship Show studios are under repair. So we're here.
Yes.
We hope you like it. Housekeeping notes. If anyone has any questions, I do look at these comments. Gina every now and then looks at these comments after the show. But if you have a comment during the show, feel free to leave it. Why this show today? Because we got a lot of folks not getting together. It's a lot of complaints. It's a lot of gender wars. It's a lot of, I don't know what they say, the dating pool.
There's a lot of
dating pool is full of what?
Pee.
All right. So
yeah, that's what they're saying. And it's you know what? I have a lot of single friends and I see some of the things they conjure in the dating world.
Right.
And yeah.
All right, Gina, let's get it moving. Could you please introduce our guests? And then
we just did.
Well,
we just
no,
did.
they got to tell us a little bit about themselves.
Oh, you want me to? Okay.
Yeah, I want you to do your thing.
I'm going to say, okay, so
we
we know that Mrs. Critic is married to this one. So,
what, married kids? We don't know all that.
Married and kids. All right. So, Tasha,
A little bit about
how
yourself.
long have you and Kris the Critic been married?
16 years.
Married 16, together for how long?
You better get it right.
About 20.
About 20. Is that accurate, Kris?
That's about right.
And how many children do you have together?
3.
3.
Do you have any that you've had that I don't know about? No.
Yes.
Do you have any that I don't know about?
We don't know what
We
happened.
don't
But if
know.
it was past 20 years, we're not going to hold it
Mama's
against
baby,
Right.
daddy's maybe is what my mom used to always say. So, all right. So they have 3 children. They've been married 16 years, together 20. So they're the veterans in the room. To my left, we have Romero, who is Mr. Critic's cousin. And so tell me about, now we haven't had you on the show. So now I get to pepper you with questions. So are you a Chicagoan?
I am.
You're a Chicagoan. Now you said you've been married for
3 years.
And
Make
how
sure
long were you together?
Can you
Yes.
guys hear me okay?
Yeah, make
We've
sure-
been together
Ray, make sure you talk up a little bit just so everybody can hear you. Got it real quick. Go ahead.
8 years.
8 years
Oh, wow.
together.
Oh, wow, I didn't know that.
And married for 3.
Yes.
And now, do you have any kids?
One bonus.
You have a bonus child. Okay. And how old is the bonus child?
She's 6.
She's 6. Okay. Okay.
Don't ask.
Oh, well, the math was okay. Anyway,
The math ain't
The math wasn't
That's
math.
another show.
that's a whole different show.
We know how it go. That's another show.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. So now, we'll start this topic. Where did you meet your husband?
Social media.
Social. Now, what form of social media?
So we had mutual friends. We were from the same sphere of influence, and he kind of reached out. I was single at that point, and shot him down a couple of times. Third time was the charm, though. So
Okay.
yeah.
Third
We
time
knew
was a
each other, but
charm.
we didn't know each other like that. We knew mutual people that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And so, first of all, I think we have a video. Don't we?
Well, yeah, we can get to it.
You want to get to the video?
Well, you can finish the
Okay.
intro.
All right. All right. Well, all right. So let me just reciprocate that question for the Levies over here. How did the two of you meet?
We actually met in high school. We were in the high school program,
Uh-huh.
and then we became friends in that program. And then we went to the same college and were friends there. Had a lot of our classes together, and we were really close friends. And didn't date till much later in life.
Okay. Okay. So you know where the bodies are buried too.
That's
I do know a lot.
Okay. Okay.
As
More
I-
than I probably
As
want
I
to know.
start to spire.
Probably. He's in the hot seat up in here. So wait, you know what we
we
forgot? We forgot my favorite thing.
What?
Oh,
What's the national day?
Gina B likes to know national.
You know, I'd
Day.
love to know that.
It is National Julian Fries Day. Now,
Julienne
do you know
fries?
what that is?
Yes.
I didn't know what it was.
I don't know
Those
what
are
it is.
shoestring fries.
Yes, they are.
Okay.
You
That sound
always
like
know
carbs
what
to
these
me.
weird
Right, right. You're a
words
restaurant
mean.
It's Julienne
You are a
fries.
restaurateur.
But
Gina B?
before that, I knew what Julienne.
I
cutting
had no
was.
clue.
Yeah.
It's national, and you'll appreciate this since your restaurant. It's called Vinyl Wax. It is National Vinyl Record Day.
It is?
It is.
You should have had some specials.
Should have
I
some
know. We're
specials
not
in
open
restaurant.
today, though. That's why.
Oh, okay. That's a special.
It's also, shout out to
Come
my
Thursday,
middle
though.
child, Brooke. It is National Middle Child Day.
Yes. Tiffany, shout out, sister.
Oh, yeah, she is. Shout out, little cuz. Shout out, shout out.
Okay.
Yeah, we do have a video. So to set the tone for the show, it's real short. We're going to show a video of why we're here, and we're going to break it down after that and give you some info you can use. Grab a drink, grab a notepad. We'll be right back in about 35, 45 seconds. Watch the video.
I'm getting sick of women asking me, where are the good men at? But you stay in your house every Friday night, you antisocial, you don't respond to DMs, and you got the nerve to be like, where are the good men at? Not in your house. You are a good catch that no one knows about because you spend your time working, going home. You don't do shit. And even when you do shit, you don't socialize. You do not spark invitations. You don't even look inviting, and you're wondering why you can't find no good men. I'm just one of those people that know good men exist. Just so happen, he not the postman. He ain't coming to your house. Some of y'all, the only way y'all gonna meet a man is if your toilet stopped up, you call a plumber, and that plumber is him. Cause you don't go nowhere. I don't like the club, Ace. Take a hike, go to the library, get cute, and go to Home Depot for all I care. Do something.
We're going to talk about what. Okay.
All right, Gina B.
All right. Here's a question before we start. I like to set the stage and define things. What is a good man? What is a good man, Romero? What do you think? You say what?
So he should be a provider.
Okay, that's first.
Start with that.
Okay, we started with that.
Have good emotional and spiritual intelligence, meaning that you're able to connect in that area. And just a family person with me. I'm very family oriented. My parents and I and siblings are very close. We come from a big family and we're all, close.
Ginormous.
Ginormous.
How many siblings do you have?
So it's 3 of us, but our grandparents had 15 children.
Oh, okay.
His father being the oldest and my mom being next to the baby.
That is a stretch. Yeah. Okay, so that's the definition of a good man.
Yep.
Tasha, what do you think? What do you say?
I like everything that Ray said down there, but I think that one thing that she touched on was that there are elements of what a good man is to you.
Right.
Someone may think a good man mows the grass every week, and so I think that it's tailored. So, someone that's supportive, someone that you guys have similar values, someone that is, that you can trust. Those are things that, I think are a good man or a good, a good person per se, but there are some nuances, I think, for each person on what makes a good man to them.
Well, that's great because that means that everyone doesn't have the same definition, which means
exactly
everyone can be successful, right? Because if everyone were looking for the same man,
right,
we know that wouldn't work out. So
we just all be looking.
But I do think there's a general consensus that good men are kind, right?
Yeah.
Good men.
I don't like a kind man.
Well, I'm saying they protect their family, right? There's some basics in there, right? They uplift, they uphold. It's some stuff that we do agree on.
I just want one that doesn't call me a bitch.
Well, here's why, because I'm guessing during this show, we're going to talk about a lot of not so good men.
We are.
Right? So I just want to make sure that we point that out. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Okay, so now that we've defined them, now what are the issues with finding a good man? Like what kind of men do we think?
Or what y'all girls see out here in the streets?
Yeah, what do you?
Broken toys.
Broken toys?
Yeah.
Did you say broken toys?
You mean?
Did you say the men are broken toys? Break that down.
Broken, yeah, please.
Broken toys. So you ever watch Toy Story where they had the room with the broken toys or the broken wore out Barbies? Did you see the Barbie where they had where the Barbies were played with so much that they went to the Barbie land or whatever?
The ran through Barbies?
Yeah, the ran through.
Okay.
The body, Barbies. But the guys that are broken in capacities where
are they emotionally broken,
maybe financially.
They have no money.
Maybe didn't have their father as a father figure or mother. There's absenteeism as far as the parents or whatever, and then they bring that into the relationship. You find yourself being Olivia Pope, the fixer.
Yeah, it's a lot of that out here.
Yeah,
right.
A lot of Tasha. I'm sorry. Go
Oh,
ahead.
go ahead. I
was
was
just
going to ask
bouncing
Tasha.
it. Yeah, let me stop.
I think I see a lot of, I hear a lot of people who are disingenuous, even as grown as they are. So instead of being upfront on who they are and what they want, they portray an image and even show up like they have good intentions, and maybe they do, but like you said, because of whatever their issues might be, it's not lasting, it's not sustaining.
No.
And so that's what I think people see.
Okay. And so being people, because I've been married 2 years together for 16, so we've been out of the market for a little bit, but all of us have single female friends.
Right.
So are there broken men, to your point, and things aren't sustaining that are coming? Like, can you see it coming a mile away with your friends?
No, I don't think it's always that obvious. I think that people seem pretty nice. Sometimes they're actually love bomb, where the person seems so great, but then after a while, then it's not sustainable. Then they seem to, their real self shows up at some point, in the courtship.
So the representative
or they just don't meet a lot of people now. That's the thing about it. That's why the show is so interesting, because it's hard to make the connections that if you didn't make them in school, if you didn't make them at work, if you're not making them somewhere that you spend a lot of your time, where do you meet people? How do you meet people is really the bigger problem. It's not that they're meeting so many creeps and they're sifting through a lot of people. They're really just not meeting people that they're connecting with.
So now, okay, what kind of places? 'Cause I'll tell you where I can never go without some man walking up to me and introducing himself. So ladies, if you're near this place, no, it's the Home Depot.
Yeah, the Home Depot is the place.
And I call it the Homeboy Depot, the one that's on 87th and
Home Depot or grocery store.
Or the grocery store. But no, Home Depot, and those men have tools.
The video.
I'm just saying.
It's funny you mentioned that. The video that I was going to show showed two women looking for a man, and guess where they were?
Home Depot.
And there were a lot of men in Home Depot. They were running up to him, grabbing him. They were literally running up to him, grabbing him, hugging him. It was like, oh, look at the two fellows.
Like, no, real talk. Like, I went into Home Depot when I was renovating a room in my house, and I was picking out like fixtures and at least 3 guys came up to me. I was there for 25 minutes. Hey, can I help you? Can I? Well, do you need some? Do you need a contractor? Like what? Right. No, sir. But I have friends. I'm thinking to myself, like, but I don't want to be collecting numbers at Home Depot because my husband might not like it. But my point being, and also the grocery store. So every time I go to like a Jewel or a Mariano's, not every time, probably about every 5th time. And one guy was so nice about it, and it was so sweet. And I was nice to him because I wanted another woman to have that same experience who might have actually wanted to go out with
you don't want to shoot him down too hard. You want to be gracious with the let.
I was like, well, thank you for talking to me, but I'm not single. But please don't stop doing this.
Even though you're saying that so obviously, I don't think people really think about it and know that, it seems intuitive, but like Home Depot or Ace or the grocery stores, those are places that people should consider places that men normally go. And when you say the grocery store, when I used to live downtown, I noticed there were all these men. If you happen to go to the grocery store on like a Sunday, like before game time, they're all in there getting snacks.
They're buying
beer
Fritos.
And stuff. They're getting snacks. It's like you gotta go to the grocery store on Sundays, and not a busted store, like a store in a good area, because then they live nearby. They live nearby, so they're probably more like successful. That they're gonna go to the grocery store in the area closest to,
and you can see what they're buying. Like, check that card out, because if they've got some like
that far, but I just saw them walking down the aisle.
Right.
I was like, man, it's a lot of men in here. This game time is 12 o'clock.
Magnums.
What liquor are you?
Candy.
Magnums and a case of beer. Maybe no. Right. Okay, you've already got activity for that night.
Good stuff so far. I like where this is going.
Okay.
I just want to point out, and you and I talked about this before. I think ladies and gents, if you know some ladies looking, you have to be intentional.
Yeah, that's the main point.
We're getting to that in the second part of this.
Let me just sit back.
I'm just saying, I have a whole thing here.
Gina B is actually prepared. Sometimes you're not. I know
she's always prepared.
Why is he hating today?
He hates every day. Like, he acts like I have.
All right. Back to the show. Back to the show.
Don't come to a group of women. We will take you out. Okay, so now let's discuss. We talk about in-person places, and which is my favorite. I met my husband actually at a bar. And then there's a pro. People are like, I don't want to meet
That's
people.
on
at the
my
club.
list.
But you want to meet people.
First time
Like
at the
I
bar.
like to see what their drinking habits are.
Yeah. That's a
You know,
good-
you meet
that's-
people at a bar, you get to see, are they drunk? What are they drinking? I'm going to admit something. There's this man that I didn't go out with because he was drinking an apple martini.
First name. What was his name?
I can't tell you.
She never gives anything away. Ray, I've been trying to get one dude out of
But
the
he was,
entire time
I
we-
was not a fan of men who drink
I thought-
girly
Drink.
drinks.
Like a
By the way,
Yeah, I'm
the
like,
Kris
why-
and Gina Relationship Show
It's not discriminatory.
does not discriminate
I didn't say
on
that.
race, creed, character, or sexual
I haven't said nothing
orientation.
racial.
I wouldn't
All right, go ahead.
I wouldn't cross somebody out for their
See, this is why
girly
we're all
drink.
different.
Yeah.
This is our
I
all
could care less.
Yeah, so you don't care. Remember, what do you
So-
girly drink? Is that turning you off?
No,
Okay.
because my previous relationship, I met him in a bar on a date with somebody else.
Well, was he drinking a girly drink though?
He was sending over girly drinks to me, but no. He
Oh,
wasn't
well,
drinking
so
a girl
wait,
drink.
wait, back up.
Yeah.
Okay, so you met him while he was on a drink. He was on a date with somebody else.
No, I was on a date with
You,
another guy.
you were on a date with him. He sent drinks to you anyway.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Current
kind of
husband?
bold.
No.
Oh, the
That's
last
a little
one?
bold,
Yeah.
I
Well,
think.
that was a big
Don't you
dude.
think
Who's
that was
gonna
bold?
Right.
Okay. So, all right. So we talk about the bar. I like physical presence personally because you can assess chemistry really quickly.
Yes.
But what about if you're online?
Good talk.
Who did online? I did online dating. Did you
I
do
didn't do
online
online
dating?
dating, but I met my husband online.
Okay.
Did you?
So, yeah.
Oh man, we missed that whole
Yeah.
online era.
So
I
yeah,
did
we
not.
did miss the air, but I also have single friends that have met some really great guys online. But I
Yeah.
tell you this, there are apps that are not the basic main ones.
You've
There
got to go
are
off
apps-
the
Check
beaten
your
path.
app.
there are-
people.
So the key is there's some things that everybody can do, but you got to filter. So there are apps that cost more money. So my friend is a very successful executive. So she's meeting men on apps that cost money to be a part
Right.
of.
Right.
Because
And
you
there
got
are
to
few
cut out
of
the
them.
riffraff.
Like there are
That's
apps like
true. You gotta be
Talkify or the League. Like I
Mhm.
think Simone
Bios.
Biles met her husband on the League app.
Who claimed that he
You know
didn't
what
know
I'm
who she
saying?
was? Remember?
But you know, but
He
the
never
point
had.
is that that's an exclusive app that you got to be accepted
yeah, the league.
into.
Yeah, you can't
and
be messing
then-
around.
Then that's a higher end exclusive individual.
Right.
So you don't have to just do the main ones that are just the
Yeah.
masses. There are specialty ones.
That's awesome.
Them
fun.
asses.
The masses.
Them asses. So that's what the masses are. They are them asses. So yeah, so you've got to be maybe Tinder, which was previously known for being a total hookup site. I'm not sure if that is still, but that's what when I was online dating, it was because I've been with my now husband for 16 years. So that was a long time ago. That was in the days of Match.com, which I think still exists.
It's got to be one of the biggest.
Is
right?
anybody still?
I think,
Bumble is a big
I
one.
think Match owns the League, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, they do?
just been,
They evolved?
they just evolved. They
The
don't go out
Spark
of
Network.
business.
Bottom line is,
owns
all
them.
apps aren't created equal.
Okay,
Right.
so apps, websites, they're not all created equally.
There's
And
spiritual
then,
ones,
the
older
question-
people ones.
But some people,
and then what do you look for?
there are some
on
people.
apps?
There are some people who are. I just want to throw this out there. Who are, let's say, over 40, right?
Let's just say.
They don't look as favorably on apps as younger people. But I'm going to let you know, 1 out of every 2 relationships now is beginning online.
Right. 'Cause it's so fast.
And there is no study saying these do better or worse, but it is a way for you to get access to a higher amount of people, for you to sort through a lot of losers real quick. So there's some benefits to it. But at some point, you got to pick up the phone, you got to talk, you got to see what they're about.
I would recommend, and I'll tell you what, like if you're going to do the apps, I would recommend having a conversation, just get a Google number or whatever
Absolutely.
quickly. Because
Absolutely.
then you can figure out, because there's a lot of people on
That's-
there.
that's a good point.
That's a good
I've
idea.
seen-
That's an awesome idea.
And then get your
We know
business
somebody
party
who's a
that's
flight
supposed to
attendant.
stop
She has
and run their
Google.
stuff on
She has
the
one of those
website.
Google
They
phone
get out
numbers.
Yeah, get one of those numbers and
Yeah.
have a conversation quickly, because then you can see if that person's full of shit.
Right.
Can they talk on the phone with you, or are they just texting? I don't recommend all that texting, because you can text doing anything.
Yeah.
Sure.
You can
Text
text
your
while
wife.
somebody while you're in bed. You can do,
Yeah.
but people have done it.
I know.
Right.
But yeah. So anyway, so there's that. Now the other place that we talked about, sporting events.
I think any event. I think anything that you have to pay to get into.
Yeah, anything you have to pay to get into. But I'll tell you another place. I have 2 friends who are married, who they met their husbands in one of those activity groups.
Those are awesome.
And
Yeah.
they're not really meant for dating. They're meant for people who just want maybe
Right.
who have like an affinity for whatever it is, right? That you choose, but they just meet that way.
Yeah, all those groups, book clubs.
Yeah.
If I were a single woman,
That sounds so boring. I probably wouldn't date a man in a book club
but-
with a bunch of women. Now
I
that would
wouldn't.
bore the hell out of me.
Here's something else.
That's your apple martini.
Here's
That's
something-
my apple martini.
Here's something else that's boring.
Book club.
I think I don't play,
What if they
but
did?
I would take golf lessons. If
Hell
I were
yeah.
if I were a
Go to
woman,
the driving range.
I would be out there at the driving range,
Cute.
by myself
Your little tennis
with a
shoes.
horrible swing.
On a regular
Because
basis.
men who
With a
play
cute little
golf,
skirt on.
men who play golf are gainfully employed and
Yep.
tend to be a little more serious about life.
Just make sure they don't have that
Right.
ring tan.
So if you do nothing else,
She said
you
ring
go pay for
tan.
that golf lesson. By the way, we
Yeah.
got a couple people on here. Shout out to our cousin
Chancey.
Chuck.
Hey,
Shout out to
Steve.
Chancey. We see you.
Yeah.
Chancey's like,
Yes.
love that Google number.
Yeah.
But so
I
we got,
have a
Google
couple
number
of
will
other.
say
Wait,
it.
oh, yeah, wait a minute.
Broken toys too.
One thing that, what about, I think career conferences
Oh.
are
Yeah.
great for meeting, good people.
even if you don't need a job.
You don't
No,
have to
not
need a job.
not like career. You can
Like-
either
like the
So
National
like
relationship-
NBA.
no,
Good car association or
whatever
something like that.
whatever your occupation is. There's a conference where people they
Right.
don't just go for getting jobs. They
Right.
go to learn things. Sometimes certain fields require a certain amount of learning hours.
Mhm.
And there's always social gatherings around it, even if you're not of the like. In this summer, there was a Black lawyers conference. There was a Black doctors conference.
I recommend the MBA conference.
The Black MBA
That
conference
is
is
a
that.
hotbed of activity.
It was amazing.
I hope people are writing these down because
It
I'm
was
thinking about this.
amazing.
I used to meet so many guys.
You know,
let me-
my friend a friend of mine just met someone during the Black lawyers. I think the Black lawyers conference. See what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
I'm telling you, another hotbed
there's
of
a lot of
activity.
there's
Also-
the Black pilots. There's always Black PR people. There's just always a conference.
everything.
And for the for the ladies who think that all these men are married, they're only 36% of brothers who are married, and there are men getting divorced every day,
Yep.
and they do include judges, pilots, lawyers.
Just watch
doctors.
for the tan. The
Police
tan.
Police officers, firefighters, everybody.
There are
There's a
men abound everywhere.
yeah.
Men's is out here.
And when we mention the stores, I would say that a lot of people are not intentional. I think that's what you said earlier, Gina.
Uh-huh.
They're not intentional, so you don't have to put on a ball gown going to the grocery store, but
No.
you can't look like you're doing laundry all day either.
Well,
like
I'll
you just
tell
need a basic daily good look for you every day.
Let me tell you what I've walked in Home Depot wearing and met men.
Well, that's an anomaly, but
I
the
have-
average person doesn't.
Right. I've walked in Home Depot wearing some mid paint. Like I've gone to Home Depot, like, damn it, I ran out of paint. I gotta go. So I've thrown on a pair of big overalls and, not even a cap with my hair looking crazy. And
Can't
that's when I
see.
get attention. It's
Yeah.
kind of strange.
So, no,
But-
that's a no for me.
But okay, so that segues super well into what's your demeanor need to be when you connect with these men? Because judging by the amount of people I meet, and I'm not looking, I think you can't be thirsty.
You got to be authentic.
Can I, as a
What does thirsty mean?
wait a minute, as a retired eighth
Jedi
degree Jedi Knight player
What do you?
with
You
Hollywood
say
good
what?
looks, can I answer this?
Yes,
Yeah.
go ahead. That's
All
just
right.
for you.
I'm just. You're right. You can't be extra thirsty. Lions don't like their meat
Or even slightly parched.
dead in the road.
That's so funny.
They like to go hunt it and kill it and eat it. They don't eat dead meat. However, you should be approachable. Every man is not that confident. A lot of good men aren't, that confident.
Mhm.
Especially you got to recognize the age and time we live in. People catching cases just smiling at somebody, but a faint smile at a guy goes a long way, right?
It does.
You all
got
can
the
answer how to
mean
drop
face.
that handkerchief, but you should seem approachable, and everybody can smile. Everyone likes a smile.
Yeah.
They do.
Even when men see each other, it's like, we give them a nod. Everybody likes being acknowledged, and there's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah,
right?
and it's
No, it's nothing wrong with it. But I think to piggyback on what you said, sometimes they get intimidated. If you are an assertive, what do you want to say, alpha female? Not a bitch, but just an alpha female.
Yeah.
Where you are going to attract or suit certain things anyway. You don't want somebody that's scared to ask you for your name. Even
There you go.
you want
You
to make
don't.
sure, because that's not cool. Because junior college, you see something, a man is by nature they hunt.
they
And,
do hunt.
and by the way, all you, because I'm sitting with three very extremely accomplished women. I don't even want to go through resumes. However, I can tell you that there's a different side of them
Very much
when
so.
they're with their men, right? And I think there's something to be said for that. I know it's hard for people to turn off. It's hard for men to turn off. I mean, I've heard NFL players say, you know, after preparing for war all week, it's harder for them to tone down to the next day. And it's like that. I know for you women who are running teams of people out here, you know, it's hard sometimes.
It's hard for
you
me.
to be
Chris is
soft.
always like, I don't work for
I'm
you.
like, I don't work
And
for
then
you.
he calls me,
You're so
what's the lady
mean.
on Charlie Brown? He
What's
calls me
that?
sir.
Oh,
Oh,
sir.
yeah.
Oh, Peppermint
Yeah,
Patty.
she tries that in the house. I'm like, excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
Sorry, sir.
Well, but you know, women, we kind of have to live.
Double
and
lives, like-
we have to live a bifurcated life,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So
Hold on. A what life?
Bifurcated.
You know what?
Double edged, double sided.
Sometimes
That Gina B is
trifurcated,
gonna stop
depending.
doing that.
Sometimes trifurcated.
Yeah.
But a bifurcated life in the sense that, and there are a lot of professional, successful women who are single and are not happy about it. But I think so many of them could stand to settle into their femininity.
Yes. The
That is the greatest superpower. I'll talk about it later in the show,
Yeah.
but that, to me, that's the greatest superpower on the planet.
Like, settle into your
Femininity. No,
Yeah.
femininity is.
I mean, it
I'm
is.
talking about everything.
Wars
Men,
are
women,
won.
everything.
Wars are fought. Like all the things that men do are really to attract.
And it gets downplayed these days, but I won't get to my preaching. That's later in
Don't
the show.
preach yet.
No, don't preach.
That's
Papa
later.
don't preach.
That's later in the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, but like seriously. So now, where does your mindset have to be to attract these men that you're meeting? Like
Yeah,
where?
yes.
So, I was single prior to meeting my husband for like 4 years, where I just went through a whole time of self-discovery. Just your mindset needs to be where you're at a place. If you're trying to attract something good, you want to be at a good place. So you can't go out and say, I want a 6 or 7-figure performer, producer. I want him to have a 6-pack, and I want this, and that. What you want, you got to project that. A lot of times you're going to get what you project. So you ask yourself, why do I keep getting the broken toys or the alcoholics or whatever? What are you doing to attract this?
Or maybe you broke it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
That's possible.
Yeah.
What do you think, Tosh?
I was listening, so I don't know
What's your
just said.
mindset? What
Where does your
mindset
mind
do you
have
need
to
to be?
I think that you have to be open despite your past experiences, even if they just got to get back up. Like a salesperson, you got to get back up every day and try it again and continue to try to be open. And I would say, and to your point about femininity, you gotta slow down a bit when you meet people. It's not in a rush. You don't have to be a rush to just get to know them so
Like, why are we
fast. You don't have to get to rush to go on a trip with them so fast. You just gotta fall back a little bit and see what they're. Because how can you be in your femininity if you're driving it? You gotta fall back and see if they really like you. If you really like them, you may
Hold
not
on.
like them.
She dropped the gym. You know, every time I hear gym drop, how can you be in your femininity if you're trying to drive?
You gotta fall back and see if they like you. Are they calling? Are they making plans? You know, how are they engaging
Mr.
you? Where are they
Gordine.
inviting you to? Where are they not inviting you to? So, you know,
That's
you have to
key.
pay. You can't pay attention when things are happening so fast. You know, what's the
That's true.
conversation like? Spread it out a little bit. Is he
I also think you
consistent
should
over a
think
period of
outside the
time?
box. Not
Yeah.
I used to have a type, and my husband is totally opposite. Of my
So is
type.
mine.
Right. Oh, sorry. So you have to be open. You got to be open.
And
to
not that not so
different
much
types.
physically, but you know, Chris is. You know, we probably have more similar qualities than my past types. You know, like he talks quite a bit.
What
He's
was your
social.
type before?
More quiet, a more quiet guy.
Tasha,
You know, more.
Can I?
No, you
Tasha
can't
might
say
be.
nothing.
They,
but
they were
just-
all real. Y'all had similar
Question
types.
was
Y'all all dated dudes this tall.
Okay, wait.
They all dated dudes this tall.
Well, yeah, I dated
I'm
a
5'10".
lot. I dated
My
some
husband
shorter
is
men too, but I've dated some men, a lot of men over 6 feet, because that's what would approach me.
Right.
You know,
I'm 5'9", so
like
we're about
opposites, I think.
You know, that's what I
You know,
thought. My
and-
husband and I look at each other. I'm sorry, Tasha.
No, you go ahead.
No.
I'm so confused.
We'll finish
And
up.
more quiet. Chris is not a quiet guy. You know, he's not quiet. He's not chill. He's not. You know, he's easy to get
Why is
along
everybody
with,
not
believe it
in
or not. But he talks a lot, and I'm not used to that kind of energy all the time. When we used to date, I was like, man, he talks a lot, and I can talk a lot, but he's definitely the bigger personality in this relationship. You know, and I'm not used to that. In past relationships, I was the bigger personality. I'm the one talking, and they were just kind of quiet, listening to me.
Right.
Oh wait, Louis Green's got a comment. To meet a man, you just need to do these things. Make eye contact, smile, and say hello. That's it.
Louis,
Louis?
No, wait a minute. To his point,
That's
a
true
lot
if
of
they're
men,
interested.
if he's interested,
He's taking over from there.
He's going to take over from there.
There you go.
Shout out to
Not
Louis
hard.
Green, who's been a frequent guest on the show. Thank you.
Yes, we need to obviously
Yeah,
have you
Louis,
back to
that's
discuss
true.
this.
You just got to say hi. You don't have to
Yeah.
do anything else, but you have to be there, though.
Yeah,
And the thing about it, when people are getting older and people are more successful, they really do, like the video said, they go to work, go to bed. Go to work, go to bed, go to work, go to bed. And then even when they're at the store, it's like, I'm going to get this grocery list, and I'm right back out of there so fast. So it's just this, how can someone meet you?
Mhm.
That's
When
true.
you're so, what do you call
You're
it, like
so-
task driven?
Yeah, heads down, doing the work. You got to pick your head up a little bit and look around
Right.
and be open-minded, to your point
Yeah.
about opening the aperture and getting out of your type.
Yeah. But you'll get stuck in the type.
Now, what made you said your husband's not your type, classically.
No.
So what made you consider him?
He was very kind and very family oriented. Actually, I would talk to my dad. I was living alone in Hyde Park, and I would talk to my dad on the way home. When he first visited me, he was on the phone with his mom, so I'm like, this is not gonna be a problem because I talk to my daddy all day. I got a call to go rep him. Shout out to my daddy.
Shout out to her. Shout out to her.
I said it. So most times guys would be like, oh, she's a daddy's girl. What's this all about? He was talking to his mom on the phone, letting him know I just made it. I'm on the phone with my dad. And it was just like an instant connection as far as family. He got the connection.
Okay. So that was the thing that got you.
Yeah.
Now, okay, let's talk a little bit about different ways. So do you feel better if your person was referred to you by friends?
Okay.
Yes. I
You
would have
know,
preferred that.
someone can
Yeah.
vouch.
Yeah. That was the thing. Even though we met online, we had like mutual people that we knew very well. So I could go and say, what's up with Sitco Joe? Who's this, what's going on with him? Who is he? He did the same thing with me.
Right.
So we were able to kind of like,
Did you say Sitco Joe?
they own Sitco gas stations. They called him Sitco Joe.
Oh.
So,
Okay.
That's interesting.
Okay.
I was going to ask
that's
that
the
question.
story.
Louis Green thinks you can meet women. We can talk about that. on a
Louis,
different
this
day.
is
Talk
a
about
different
some
show.
more
I know.
men.
I got you. Louis, this is not the show on where men meet women. It's about women meet men, Louis.
Louis ready to get it.
Louis
There's women everywhere, Louis.
He's
He's ready
like,
to crack
yeah.
it out.
All right. So Tasha, were you fit? Well, you knew Kris.
I don't know. Well, I mean, we could talk about that, but I think that people want to hear about where to meet other men.
Right. But my
Wait,
point is,
she's
were you
asking about specifically
referred?
about referrals.
Referral.
And then
Oh.
points to that. And then we
Tasha,
got,
like,
because we
let's
talked
get
about
that
that.
Oh, I
Then
didn't
we go-
see this. What
Yeah,
you
yeah,
say?
yeah. Well, do you think that being referred makes people feel more comfortable, secure that you're?
I think referrals are the best.
Yeah.
They are.
They're
Yeah.
the best, and you can get a referral because you know what your friends like. So if I see a guy that I think my friends, I know what they're gonna like,
Right.
Right.
personality wise, appearance wise, value wise. It's like I got somebody for you. I know you're gonna like them. I was at a party last weekend. And I said, man, there's someone here. I knew my friend was like. I'm like, I wish she was here. I wish she was here, but I didn't know the person and the few people that I knew at that party. They didn't know the person, and I
Right.
didn't ask the birthday girl, like, man, who is this person, and get the 411. But I have a friend definitely that would have been interested if that person was single, would have loved to have met that person. So referrals I think are great.
I think they're great too, and you should solicit referrals. So
Right.
when I met my husband, I figured out like who do we know in common, right? So we became Facebook friends, and I was like, oh wait, I know one of my girls, her husband is friends with him. And so we had lunch the next week, and I was like, ask your husband what he thinks about Lee. And so, he gave the thumbs up. Now, I'm not sure if I would have proceeded had he not given the thumbs. If he'd said, because he's a good guy, and if you get a referral from a good person, then that's even better, right? Because the caliber of person they are. And if they're referring that person, then hopefully it's going to be a similar caliber, right?
Absolutely.
Anyway.
Yeah. Gina B brought that up earlier. And, when we prepped for the show, I just want to let people know if this were Family Feud, referrals would be the number one answer.
Ding, 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 ding.
If
ding,
this
ding.
were Family Feud, it would be the number one answer. It's the best way for you to get jobs. It's
For
it's
sure.
the best way for you to, to meet folks. If an entree, it is the best way to meet men and women. So again, if you don't ask, closed mouths don't get fed. Tasha, you and I, we had this conversation every Tuesday, folks. My wife, one of my wife's friends, and I, in addition to Gene, we go through this show ahead of time. I know you had a couple things of ways tangible ways or places. Did you bring any of those?
Yeah, I got a couple. So when we talked about the conferences, I also think when you think about volunteer opportunities, but you got to think of things that men would want to be, and you're not going to just you're not picking the volunteer opportunities because you're looking to meet a man. But if you're interested in animals, maybe you might meet a man there because men like animals. So animal shelter volunteering,
Right?
Things sports related with kids, boys and girls, men are interested in that.
Right.
Food bank politics. Right now there's always an election or midterm. Men are in those events helping their parties, helping their candidates, and so
Fraternal
those
events,
are places. Fraternity events.
Shout out to the Noops.
Fraternity events are great places to meet people. When you come, there are things Kris said earlier. In these places, or I don't know what Kris or Gina, one of you guys said places that you got to pay to get in.
Right.
Airport lounges,
airport
exclusive
lounges,
places like airport lounges. And a friend of mine also, so I fly a lot.
I'm keeping my wife out of those airports. Those men got too much money.
So airport lounges are great places to meet people. He always said golf. One other thing, a friend of mine said this. I thought this was hilarious. I'll share it here. So I travel a lot for work, but we live on the south side, so I like to take Midway, and I'll take Southwest if I can because I want to get home quickly. I'm so tired from all the flying. So a friend of mine said, well, you can't meet a good man. You can't meet a successful man on Southwest. They got to fly United or American in order to meet. So they go all the way to O'Hare because they're single and they want to make sure that they meet certain types of men, and they fly those airlines if they're businessmen.
That's
and I said, that's
get
a
yourself
nugget,
upgraded.
But that's a nugget.
Get upgraded.
Right.
This is true.
Meet
right.
people.
I didn't even think about it, but I didn't have to think about it.
You didn't have to.
Yeah.
No spirit.
No spirit.
He'll
Southwest. You're trying to meet him. You got to go to O'Hare, make the hike.
Yes.
So,
That's right.
So we just covered a bunch of good places to go to find what I call at least a better pool of men, I would think. You can't just keep going down smoking cigars at the family den. Yeah. Nothing's wrong with the den. I frequent it. But you can't always go there expecting to find, your soulmate, right?
You can go to Wax Vinyl Bar, though.
Yeah, right, real quick. Gene, this is a good segue. Before I transition, we have business owners here. Gina B, can you share just real quick what your place does, where it is, and then Romero, I need for you to do the same thing. We'll do it again at the end of the show. Sure. Because I think we should always celebrate Black businesses.
I have a lovely bar restaurant called Wax Vinyl Bar that I co-own with my husband, and it's very interesting. We'll have to do a show on how to be business partners with your spouse because that's a nuance. But we are vinyl records only is what the DJs spin, and we have ramen and really delicious food. We are on Chicago and Ashland, 1549 West Chicago, and we're open Thursday through Sunday. And Thursdays are 90s R&B and hip hop nights. Hey, so if you are a fan of that genre, come on out and see us on a Thursday.
You can get with this,
or any day. But Thursdays, that's my pet project. So I love it. Anyway.
So I am a realtor by trade, Ramira the realtor. But I do own Creative Sippin', part owner of Creative Sippin'. Shout out to Latanya Morgan. We're celebrating our 10-year
that's a long time
anniversary. I'm 3 years in. We're at 118th and Western. We're there Monday through Sunday, Sunday through Monday. We have a wine line, a t-shirt line. I should have brought you some of the wine, but I wasn't thinking. And it's real wine that we got from Napa, and that's something we just put a stamp on. You have the opportunity to visit 118th and Western. It's a paint and sip, one of the original paint and sips in Chicago.
It was really nice.
That's awesome.
Really
excellent.
And a shout out to the Children Connection Daycare in Gary, 1500 to 1506 South Broadway. CFO of that, my parents and I, and siblings, we own it collectively.
Now, are you one of those paint and sip places that does nudes?
Yes, we had 3 events last week.
So you can paint a nude there.
Why do we even know that? But anyway,
there are some bachelorette parties that we've been held.
All right, back to where the man is.
So there's a man there. He's you. Okay.
Right, exactly. You really see what he's about.
Yeah, you can.
So we spent the first half, or we got about 10, 15 minutes left. I don't know what time it is.
Yeah, I'm glad you're taking stock of time.
I don't even know what time it is. Is it? Okay, we got about 10, 12 minutes. So let's talk a little bit about, first off, there are men out here. For the women who are probably watching this, and there are no men who are gainfully employed. And here's why we're going to spend the last half talking about how to attract those men. We told you what they are. But that's only part of the battle. We got to see how to track them. But just for some soft stats for people to let you know, some brothers out here.
Kris got a list.
Well, I'm just saying, we have in this country, we have at least 200,000 brothers, more than women, making over 100 grand. For those who make between 65 and 100, we got 200,000 more brothers than women making that. My point is not to compare the two. My point is to say that they're here. And only 36% of them are married.
Right.
So they're not all married. They're not all, jacked up. They're out here. You just got to find them. But what attracts them? So I'm purposely going to start down with here, Ramira. What are some of the things that you think through, because men have this too. This isn't a men's show, but men have a lot of trauma. You mentioned it at the beginning.
Yeah.
We also have trauma in our community. If you're white, black, otherwise. The more relationships you go through that didn't work out, maybe you think now when you roll up on guy number whatever, you're 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 80 years. Yeah, but my point, but my point is
45, 50, 55.
your view can be jaded.
Yeah.
So how do you attract those men when you're being standoffish, when you're doubting him, when maybe he's trying and you're fighting him off unconsciously?
I think a rule of thumb for me is in every aspect, be kind.
Okay, that's
Start
good.
off with being kind. Nothing, it doesn't hurt. Even when you're in a bad mood, just be kind. I'm always empathetic. Not to the point where they think that you're like a pushover, but just be kind. Like Tasha said, when you let them down, at a certain age, you don't get as many compliments as you used to get. So you can't be like, little boy, what you talking to me like that for? You like, oh,
man, this old lady men don't get compliments. This lady complimented me in the store. This old lady, I told you about the older lady. She was a little fluffy. They love me.
Yeah.
Older fluffy ladies, this don't work out. Older fluffy ladies,
Okay.
I'm out here.
I think be kind.
I was ready to go home.
Yeah, she like, go ahead.
I was like, let me put these on the counter. You didn't even carry these to your car.
She'll make you a meal.
But be kind. That is a solid. I think, even if you're working on some things, being kind is good.
Being kind is key.
Yeah.
I'll add one. I would say meet people and assess for possibilities rather than reasons to rule them out.
I agree.
Yeah, we talked a little bit about that.
Yeah, just look for possibilities, like, positive things.
Yeah, I always say, we all
Not to a fault, though.
right, and that's what.
Like, if you find yourself saying something like, he's nice to all 6 of his baby mamas. Let's not go too far. But I'm just saying.
She just gets better.
But
as
sometimes
saying.
if you take it slow, you'll find out, because you may not find out about all 6 baby mamas in the first phone call. So you have to slow it down
and
a bit.
also, to your point, don't be thirsty. Like, in thirsty, you asked what is thirsty before. You want a relationship so bad that you just want to like drink it down. Like, you're so thirsty that you're just parched for attention. But you will find that if you lay back in the cut and just kind of check somebody out, you may have dodged a bullet. Like there's a lot of people. That's Louis Green.
Louis like, wait a minute.
Louis is a trip.
He wants the Biggie song.
I was just about to say that.
We all know what that is. You must be used to it.
You know what I'll add?
All that wine and dining. Right, exactly. So no, but if you like just kind of chill and just see, people will avail themselves to you. People will, I should say, reveal themselves to you, and you will find out a lot about them. You'll see how they move around. You'll see if do you want that as part of your roster?
Right.
Because there's a lot of dudes you find out later, it's like, he's a punk. But here's the other thing too. You want to do that, lay back in the cut, because he has a group of friends. Yeah. And you might decide, I like his friend. He's not for me, but his friend's pretty dope. And now I don't want to be the pass around girl.
Yeah, I already tell brothers
in a group of people.
Tasha, what were you gonna say?
You don't want to be the ran through. Anyway.
What was I gonna say?
You forgot.
Hey, I always forget. That's
she
like
does this at home, people.
If I can't jump in right then, I'm not gonna remember.
All right. I want to say something. If you remember, just jump in. I'll buy you some time while I'm doing it. Gina and I always talk about. We did a whole show on it. We all know we did red flags and green flags.
Yes.
Right? So red flags are important, but they're not always true. Those are little triggers that just say, look out for this. This could potentially be a roadblock or something we have to work through. But a green flag, he's honest. That's big. He's trustworthy. That's big. He's dependable. That's big. He's God-fearing. That's big. These are what I call, wait a minute. Let me see this. Let me see more into this. But too many times we cut ourselves off from our past experience. Oh, he reminded me of so-and-so, walked the same way. Said the same thing after, and then that dude did X. Stop. You know, your lived experience is not always reality. I would encourage people, when you talk about working on yourself, if you don't have health benefits, you can't afford therapy, I would talk to people that are in the healthiest relationships that you can see. I do not believe in talking to people who are single about shit.
Your
Even when I was
friends
single.
will keep you single.
Don't talk to them about nothing.
Where marriage is like the cornerstone. So marriage is always keen. It's
right. But any long-term relationship will be messed up, even if you're not married.
Right.
If you let other people influence it.
Hey, Sonia.
Right. You also, I mean, there are certain things that are part of a person's character that will not change.
What?
So someone being honest, someone having ethics, someone having integrity, like all those things. Now, what can change is what he's wearing.
Yeah.
Oh my
what
God.
can
You
change?
make me think of that Pop the Balloon show when you say that.
Yeah, that's
What's
crazy.
that?
You don't rule people out because of an outfit.
They bring a guy out and all the balloons pop.
And everything.
I don't know what that is.
We had a couple comments. Shout out to Louis Green for saying facts, Chris. That's the
I
only reason
remember,
I'm
I
playing.
He says
remember what I was going to say.
Everybody stop.
I had to write it down.
Go
That's
ahead.
how I got it down. I will lose my train of thought in a heartbeat. I've done it twice tonight already.
All right, go for
When
it.
you guys were talking about when you're out on a date with a guy, you gotta have, the woman also has to be likable. Like you have to make yourself likable. Like, you know, they show up, you gotta act like you like the man,
right? And
you have to present yourself as a likable option. So he'll want to go out with you again.
Right,
You know?
exactly.
What does Kristen Critic say? You got to do what, Toddy?
Be a kitten, not a cat.
You got to be a kitten, not a cat. Don't nobody want no old lazy
You're getting
cat.
there and you're just like, oh, I'm so
My
good
cats are
looking,
lovely,
and
thank you.
He just has to, you know, show me that I'm worth going out with him again. Like, well, you have to, you know, you got to compete too. He has options.
So you gotta what?
He has a lot of options.
Ladies, you
a lot of
what?
options.
You got to compete too. Everyone's seeing somebody.
Ladies
Everyone
don't
has the option.
2025, they don't even, in our
they have
community,
to compete.
they're like, what are you going to do for me? I got a whole stank used up coochie.
Oh, no.
And then a lot of, and then with black, and if you want a black man,
where did that come from?
and if you want a black man, all the coaches will date a black man. So then you got all of them trying to date him too. So you know you got to step the game up.
Yeah, you've got to make yourself it's got to be a thing where if they take inventory of you and all that you have to offer, the answer is a resounding yes. Like, why would you got to give no reason to say no?
Like they say, you got to go want to see you again, right?
Right.
I want to point out, shout out. I just want to point out a past. Anytime I see a past guest pop up,
right,
I give them a shout out. Sonia Carter Chapman, we need you back on the show.
Hey,
you
Sonia.
do have a great husband. Listen, her husband is like, if they're on the show,
right,
they're probably the most godly, religious, successful, great kids.
Like my mom and dad.
Well, they're just like that. So when they left, I mean, I'm literally walking to the line like, man, I love you, man. So
man.
But he's a great guy. So they're out here.
I would say one of the biggest adjustments that successful women have to do is make time for a man.
Yep.
That's the biggest adjustment. If you're so busy and you got all the things going on, the work, the family, all the things, you have to, make sure that there's some opportunity so that he can see himself in your life.
I agree.
Yeah.
100%.
Look for men who are
living in their
Chrissy,
purpose.
Yeah, that brother went to mental. Chris, I see you. He says, look for men who are living in their purpose. That's huge.
How do you identify that? I mean, that's so broad.
I will say without getting too personal, I felt like men, even me, didn't identify that early enough, right? It's hard for a person to follow somebody if they don't know where they're going.
This is true. This is true.
So I do think that is huge,
and I'm not.
right? and that purpose can change, fellas. This isn't your show, but it can change. But you got to keep them in the plan because that's your co-pilot. I tell men, choose a smart woman. This is not that show, but you choose a smart woman who's smart enough to say you're going in the wrong direction, and you be humble enough to respect and submit back and say, you know what, that's a better idea. Thank you. Hug it, and that's how you move.
Well, and then that's an inspiring. Like, I'll tell you what. The other day we had one of my good friends is Lee and I are friends with Jay Ivey, who's the poet, Grammy award-winning poet, and he comes into Wax all the time. And
I
asked him, he is cold. But you know what? As a person, the thing about him as a person, though,
I was like,
he is okay. He is very too much. But as a person, though, he has this aura.
He does,
and he's a very positive, and he's funny. And so I asked him the other night. This is a question I've been asking a lot of people. And I asked him the other night. I said, think about like life on a percentage of like 0 to 100%. How fulfilled do you think you are? And he goes, wow. He goes, that's interesting. And so he says, well, I would say, now some people, okay, let me just, before I give his answer, how fulfilled do you think you are in your life, like with what you're doing?
I think it goes ups and downs, but I would give my, I don't know, 60%.
Okay. 65%? Okay.
Passing.
Tosh, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm about
Passing grades have always made me happy.
fulfilled, about 70, 80.
70, 80? Okay.
I would say about 90%.
90, you're good.
Yeah.
He said, on a bad day, I might be 87%. Mm-hmm. And he
does give up that type of energy, though.
Sad about 87%.
Right,
like I was like,
the man, hey, listen,
that's a person who's really living in there. I mean,
and he gives off positive energy back to you.
Yeah.
Like I went up saying, I appreciate your work, but by the time I walked away,
you felt
he's asking me about me. I'm walking away, my shoulders ahead, and it's a guy.
But his wife is also amazing. To be clear, Tari is his wife, and so they are very. So he's not available, y'all. But what I'm saying is that that's a person who lives in their purpose. Like that's a person who you ask somebody how fulfilled are you, and they say 30%. That's on any grade scale failure.
Right. Yeah.
Any grade scale.
Like
and
that.
So that's why you just kind of have to like it's contagious and inspirational when you meet a person who's very in their purpose. I'm not even going to answer that question right now because it won't be inspirational. But anyway,
I want a couple questions.
We
now.
we
I know we closed out.
But
There's a couple things that we must look into.
Okay.
I was on social media today, and there's a lovely young woman who's been on my show who shall remain nameless. Don't know why I started talking.
Oh, no, either.
But she puts up some good introspective posts. Some I agree with, some I don't.
Okay.
But she was saying, what do you tell women who say, well, they have in their mind the man they want? Ramira alluded to it earlier. A lot of women, I'm not as attracted to this man as maybe the man I've been with. I am about, looking at wants. I'm sorry, these are your wants, and that's fine. You gotta be cute. You gotta have some money. And that's cool. But we've done this show a while. We've never met a couple married 50 years and said I've been together so long because she got a big booty or he got a big wallet. It's always trust, loyalty. I can talk to them, et cetera, et cetera. How do you tell women who are fixated on a physical? I'm not attracted to him.
They're gonna be there with crazy cat lady. You don't have to tell them. They're gonna.
Because I'm a big believer. If you find somebody who treats you well, you will. Man, that feels good. What do you say about that? I mean, attraction is important. I'm not negating that.
You just gotta tell them it's not enough. Just say, you can date attraction, but you're gonna marry someone who, that has more than that. You can't. If you want to get, it doesn't even have to be marriage at a certain point.
Right.
If you're in a relationship, you're not going to be in a relationship with them because they're attractive. It's how they treat you. How they're kind to you.
That's a good way to put it.
You can have 10 attractive men in front of you, and maybe 2 are really, really interested in you and really kind to you, and you guys really click.
You're not going to be in a relationship with them
because they're good looking.
Because they're good looking. And that's man or woman.
Yeah,
she could be a good looking jerk, and she could be a good looking jerk. That's not enough.
I just want to touch on that.
Okay,
and then last question. You go first.
Me?
You're gonna answer this first.
I was.
Since you all trying to wrap up. So you all, this.
I was done.
You're gonna answer this question, and then you're gonna give your final thoughts, and then y'all gonna do the same. So y'all think about your answer.
Nope, because it's actually don't
forget.
What
is the last?
I might forget. I gotta write it down.
The question wasn't even all that. I built it up. I'll just ask you this.
Okay.
Do you think? I just have to give your final thoughts.
Okay.
I was going to ask, do women know? Because I want women to be able to attract these men. Do they know what good men desire? So I wanted your thoughts on what you thought, what we defined at the beginning. What do good men desire in a woman? And ask yourself, if I don't have those qualities, maybe that's something to work on. So I wanted you to answer.
I don't think a lot of women have done that work.
Okay.
I honestly don't. I think that requires, because it can be kind of painful for you to take inventory of what you have to offer versus what the person that you're looking for is looking for.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it's not an exercise that a lot of people want to do. And I think that there are a lot of women that will be stuck. A lot of people will be stuck. There's a lot of men that are delusional too, but this show's about women. We'll talk about men another show. But there's a lot of women who are pretty deluded about what they're going to find based on what they have to offer.
Right. So, Ramiro, same question. And it was, I'll repeat it because I rambled a bit.
No.
What do women understand, or what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on what good men want in a woman?
So I'm going to be totally transparent. I'm not a man, so I'm not.
I know. I want your thoughts,
so
because I think you have a good. You all.
Yeah.
I think no. So I'm asking you.
So
yeah.
As a woman that was single for 3-4 years, not searching, but I feel like women, we don't have to stand still. You have to go out. You have to mingle. You have to do things. But we were created to be sought after. You don't have to be like this wildflower, but the man that you're supposed to attract, I'm just in that era where you're going to attract it. Naomi was in the field. Boaz found her. The Bible says, and I'm not going to get too biblical, when a man finds a wife, he finds a good thing in favor with the Lord. So that favor is on the woman. It's just who you allude to or who you attract. So to answer your question, can't give you a full answer of what a man is looking for. But I think as women, we prepare ourselves for being a wife, if that's what you want to be, by getting your temple in order, being a kind person, like Tasha said, going to charitable events. He's going to find you if it's meant to happen.
Yeah.
You don't have to search for him. I have friends that search, and they're gonna, they search. Like,
kind sometimes.
Yeah, you just have to relax.
I'm not always kind, but I'm kind when I need to be kind.
Yeah, when it counts.
Kind of the right people.
Yeah,
you don't need to be. I'm not kind to everybody. I'm fair, but I'm not kind to everybody.
Actually,
at least
I'm not always nice, but I'm kind.
Right, I'm fair.
That's what my godchildren say about me.
I am fair,
which is kind of scary. Anyway, Tosh.
See, I'm ready this time because I had to write it down. Yeah. I guess that's a new thing that I need to. I think good men want respect, appreciation. I think good men want the same thing that bad men want.
Right.
Unfortunately, but men want respect, appreciation. They want women. They like the femininity of women. They like women to be attractive and fit. Those are things they want. They want to be adored. Pictures. Men want to be adored. Yep. Even some that don't deserve it, but that's what I say. I don't think that men who aren't good men want things any differently than a good man. They all want the same thing. They all want the same things. They just may not be a good guy, but he still wants respect and
that's another show.
Right.
That's another show, but they all want those same things.
Right.
Everyone wants a queen, but they're not okay.
That's basically
my final thoughts.
Yeah,
all good answers. I don't always think bad and good men want the same thing. Good men usually want to serve, but they want somebody worthy of serving. Bad men might want your money. They might want your sex only.
Oh, that's true.
All right, so good men, they want someone worthy of that. Again, we won't get biblical, but anybody want to look at Proverbs. If you're not that woman, you should become a virtuous woman. Because a virtuous woman is rare. So you might be thinking you're doing everything right, but a man has to want to do that, and in return you uplift him. So men like feeling appreciated, they like feeling respected, probably more so than even loved. So if you can make and how you speak to him goes a long way. So I would just say, back to Ramir said it best, if you don't know, just be kind. Treat somebody like you'd want to be treated, and work on self-improvement. And because you'll get opportunities, whether you know it or not. The last thing I'll say is expand your horizons. When you see somebody with those qualities, if he's trustworthy, if he's dependable, if the man's getting up to go to a job every day and he's caring for somebody and people say good things about him, he's active in his community, but he's available and is shown and looked at you like, hey, I think you should at least have a conversation with that man and stop limiting yourself. Because usually, and I'll say this, man, woman, beast, our biggest enemy, the outcomes of all of our decisions lies within that person in the mirror. And I do not care what anybody else says. You are responsible for yourself. And that's all I got. I told you I was going to get the preaching up in here.
She said, okay.
Sorry about that. I came back to life.
And
I
I
came
realized
back
it was long-winded when Louis over here recording.
Anyway, Gina B,
Right.
close us out. Thank
Right.
our guests and get us out of here.
Thank you, Mrs. Critic and Romero. We are so happy to have had you today. This is a treat, actually. This is something that we always like to have Mrs. Critic on.
Thanks everybody for tuning in.
Yeah, and if you're watching this afterward, Kris usually goes on response to the comments. I do sometimes, and we'll be back next.
And Romero, thank you for coming on, aka Ray. Before she was successful, she was Ray. That's just like now it's Romero.
It's Romero.
Anyway, thank you all for coming on the show. I do appreciate you. Thank you for coming
Thanks
on
for
short
having me.
notice. I appreciate it. Love to my family out there. I know y'all watching. I need to see y'all. And thanks, babe.
Okay, get a room. Get a room.
Anyway,
Okay.
thank you all. We'll be back next week with something, I don't know, salacious.
We'll figure it out.
Out here like last year.
That's right.
Shout out to Jake, the producer.
Grease and grease.
Peace and grease.